Hi guys, for this project we need these measurements: the shoulder, the breast point, the underbust, the round waist, the round underbust, across chest front to your across chest back, and your round sleeve. These are the key measurements we need. So let's get started. Now we are going to start by taking all our vertical measurements. So the first thing is to mark out ½ inch for our starting line. So that's ½ inch can also serve as the shoulder allowance. After rolling the line, I'm going to be taking the vertical measurement, that is the breast point, the underbust, and the waist length. So the breast point is 11 inches, the underbust is 14, then the waist length is 17.5 inches. Now this is me trying to connect all the lines together, and I went ahead to also indicate them so you understand. Now for this project, the shoulder is 16 inches divided by 2, we have 8. 3 inches for the neck depth and 3 inches for the neck width. Now this is a basic block. We are starting with the basic block before the alterations. For the shoulder slope, I use 1.5 inches. Then you connect from the neck width to the shoulder slope. So guys, we're going to be taking the nipple to nipple measurement, and for this person, a nipple to nipple is 8.5 divided by 2. I have 4.25. So I mark the nipple to nipple on the breast point, on the underbust, and on the waist length. Then I went ahead to roll the 3 points together. Now guys, on the waist, I'm going to be taking 1 inch as our dart on both sides. Then from the breast point, I went down by ½ inch. Then I went ahead to connect the 1 inch to the ½ inch. I had to take the shoulder measurement again because of the slant line. Then whatever I have left between the neck width and the shoulder, I indicate the midpoint. Then I went up by 1 inch on the breast point, and I also put the nipple to nipple measurement of 4.25 there. Then I connected it to the midpoint of the shoulder. Now we are doing a shoulder dart tutorial. So guys, for a bust of 40, for our shoulder dart, what that you're going to take is 2.75, but from 40 upward is 3 inches. So I share the 2.75 on the midpoint of that shoulder dart. Then I went ahead to connect it to the point, just the way you see me doing, like that. Now the next thing is going to be closing that dart so that we can take the shoulder measurement again, because by the time you cut off that dart, your shoulder gets short. I hope you guys understand. So you're going to close it, you fold one dart on the other dart, and the moment you do that, you already have dotted lines. So you retake your shoulder measurement starting from the neck width there. So you're going to place it that way, and you roll the line. Then you go ahead and take your shoulder measurement of 8 inches again. Then you can now open the darts back. So let's continue. Now on that point there, you're going to take your round sleeve divided by 2. Now this person, a round sleeve is 14.5 divided by 2 is 7.25. Now that serves as the chest line for this tutorial. So I went ahead to rule the chest line, and I also write it down. On the chest line, I'm going to be putting the breast point, the round bust. 41 divided by 4 is 10.25. I put it on the chest line, and on the breast point. Now that's 7.25, that is the round sleeve. You're going to divide it by 3, then you indicate. What I have there is 2.25. That now serve as our across chest front. That is where you put your across chest front measurements. I hope you understand. Now for this person, when I take the across chest, it was giving me 15 inches divided by 2. I have 7.5. Then in between that dots, whatever dot you have there, you have to replace it back. The dot is 1 inch. Then we're going to be connecting the 3 points together. That serves as the armhole. So we've gotten the armhole for the front measurement. On the waist length, our waist is 31 divided by 4. I indicate, then I replace the 2 inches dot, then I connect the round bust to the waist. Now guys, we're going to be doing underbust tightening for this project. The underbust is 31, the waist is 31. So when I divide it by 4, whatever I have left there, I took it from the center front, then the remaining one I had to take from the second dart leg. That is 7.1. So the excess I have there is 1 inch. I went ahead to shear it. I put 0.25 on that point, then on the other bigger side I put 0.75. Then I use my curve ruler to connect it like that. Then I also connect the 0.25 to the breast points that way. Then the next thing is to connect them to each dart leg. From the underbust, connect to the waist dart leg. I hope you guys understand. That is how to tighten your underbust. Now the next thing guys is to get the neck depth. I went down by 6 inches from the neck depth. Then on the shoulder line there, I marked 7 inches. That is where the tube is going to start from. Now on that point, I mark half inch on each dart. That serves as 1 inch altogether. Then I went ahead to connect the line. Then I'm going to connect both points to the starting of the shoulder. Because I use 1 inch on each side for our waist, that is why I use 1 inch there. So everything is 2 inches. Then from there, I'm going to measure from the underbust. I'll measure from the center front to where the 7 inches is. What I got there, I'm going to measure it on this other side and indicate. So what I got is 7.25, and on this side also I'm going to mark the 7.25 so that one will not be longer than the other. Then I just ruled that line there. After that guys, we're going to connect it to the neck depth on one point. Then you also connect from the other side into the armhole. Now you're going to connect it in an S-like shape, just the way you see me doing like that. That is how you blend it up. We are done drafting the front. Now let's draft the back. And why it is very important to always draft your front and back on the same paper, because of this type of tutorial. So what we need for the back is just the waistline and the chest line. So you extend the lines together. Then for those that might want to use zip, I'm also marking 1 inch for the zip allowance. So you connect the 1 inch together. Then on the chest line, remember we use 7.25 for our round sleeve. You're going to go up from the chest line of the back by the same 7.25. Then you connect the lines together. After that, you go up from that point by 1.5 inches. The 1.5 inches for our shoulder slope. When we're drafting the front, you would also rule the line. Then from there you can now get your neck depth and your neck width. But before that, guys, to get the across chest for the back, whatever you use for the across chest for the front is what you use for the back. So you can as well just extend the line instead of measuring it, just rule it. Then we are going to measure the back depth, neck depth, and the width. The width is the same thing, then the depth is 1 inch. You're going to place your ruler that way and you get your shoulder measurements for the back. Then you just connect all the points together. Yeah, from that you also rule your shoulder. That is the back measurement. Now on the across chest back, you're going to put the measurement there. It's 7.5, also that's 15 divided by 2. Then on the chest line you put the breast round bust of 10.25. Then you connect the 3 lines together, the 3 points together. So we have the armhole for our back ready. Now on the waistline, because I use 4.25 for our nipple to nipple measurement, I added 0.25, that is 4.5. I always do that for the back. Then I connect it to the chest line. Then for the back, that I'm using 0.75 on both sides. Then you connect. Now I'm going to be putting the round waist measurement. Then I replace the darts of 1.5 inches. Then I'm also going to roll the line. So this is the back. Then I'm using 1.5 inches on both sides for my sewing allowance. You can do whatever sewing allowance you want to do. I'm indicating that point as the sewing allowance so you guys will understand. After that, guys, that is also the chest line for the back, the across chest back, the waist length. Then that point is the across chest front. The reason why I'm doing all this is for you guys to just understand. So we're going to be cutting off everything now. So watch how I cut, guys. Watch how I cut. So you start cutting. I'm cutting off the excess paper. For that, I don't need that. Then you cut the center front. You also cut out the side front. You cut it into the seam allowance. Then you cut the back. Now the back, whatever you are using, starts from the chest line. And I'm also cutting the armhole. Then you close your shoulder dart for the front and you cut. Now this is for those that might want to put yoke on their projects. Then you also cut the back yoke. Guys, so this is the front and the back. So I'm covering the yoke. Then I'm also going to blend up that part, that yoke, a little. You blend it if you want to use yoke for this, but we are not using this yoke because it's a tube with a spaghetti hand. For the back, guys, I'm going to be closing that and because it's a lacing at the back, I'm going to be removing the back zip. So you close from one dart to the other dart. Then I went ahead to use my maxing tape to close it. I don't want to sew anything at that back. I want it to be one piece. Then I place my ruler that way from the starting line of the seam allowance. When you place it, you are going to connect it. Automatically you have a slanted line, so you cut off that part. We don't need it. that will not make your back to have any bulge. Yeah, in my last tutorial I said you just go up by 0.75 and you cut it off. This is another way you can do that. Now for the lacing at the back, I'm just going to be taking out small. So I'll take 1.5 inch at the upper part and I'll take 1 inch on the waistline. You can decide to take whatever you want to take off. It depends on how you want to snatch the back. Then I'm cutting it off. So that is the back and that is the up and down. You have to write it because this actually looks the same. Now we have our back ready and our front ready. Now for the strap for the hand, I'm going to measure from that. I got 6.5 for the front, then I'll also measure from the back that. So whatever I have there, I'll plus it by 2. That becomes our strap. So I write it down 6.5 plus 8.5 and total is 15 inches. Okay guys, we are done drafting this. If you enjoyed this tutorial, kindly give me a like before we proceed. Now this is the fabric I'll be using for this project. So I'm going to add 1/2 inch up there. I'm going to add 1/2 inch on the bustier parts, 1/2 inch. Then on the center front, I'm also going to add 1/2 inch. Then I'll be cutting all this on the fabric. Thank you guys. I'll be stopping here because the video is taking too long. So guys, the next video will be the sewing part. I want you guys to watch that part because it's very important. I'll see you all next time. Bye.